So I'm gonna blow a lot of your minds today with this video. I'm gonna be sharing with you why a man doesn't peak until he's in his 40s, late 40s. Now, let me back up for a second. When I turned 30 years old, it was a very difficult birthday for me because I felt like I was a loser. I felt like I wasted the best years of my life, right? I wasn't where I wanted to be. Financially, I was a wreck. I was a disaster. I looked at all my friends and they were more successful in my eyes than I was. And I'm like, oh my God, I wasted the best years of my life. And then throughout my 30s, I started to figure some things out. I developed new habits. I focused on things that really mattered. I cut out a lot of the self-destructive habits so that when I turned 40, everything was moving in the right direction. And 40 was a great birthday. I felt amazing. I'm like, yeah, I'm 40. Who cares? Like, this is awesome. I felt great. Up until this point, I was scared to get older. It was a weird thing that I think a lot of us can relate to because you think, oh my God, you look on social media or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube and you see all these young people being like super successful. These people are an exception and an anomaly if they actually are successful. I'm here today to tell you that your 40s, this is when it actually starts and you take off professionally, financially, and sexually. And today, I'm gonna tell you why. Reason number one is financially. When you're in your 40s, you become a financial powerhouse. And this is when you start to develop FU money. Right? When you're in your 20s, you're making bad financial decisions. You also don't have much money. In your 30s, this is when you're starting to figure things out. Your career is starting to grow. You're developing skills. You're starting to grind. You're starting to hustle. But by 40, this is when things start to actually happen. You are doing better in your job. You have been able to save and invest some money because you've got disposable income, which gives you options. Options equal power. Reason number two is confidence that can't be faked. When you're in your 20s, it's a lot of fake confidence, right? It's bravado. It's fake it till you make it. Well, when you're in your 40s, you've been kicked in the face, you've been punched, you've been beaten down by life. You've earned your scars. And you don't seek the validation anymore because you validate yourself, because you realize that you're gonna be okay. You also have failed and figured it out. You've also gone through a lot of shit. You can't get confident until you go through a lot of adversity. And by 40, you start to really embrace the adversity you went through and the battle scars that you've endured. And it's like an inner peace. And then as you age through your 40s, it gets even better. And by the time you're 50, gentlemen, it's like nothing phases you. You're not worried about what other people are thinking. You're finally truly comfortable in your own skin, which is sexier than six-pack abs and a strong jaw. Gentlemen, speaking of six-pack abs, let's talk about the third reason why men peak in their 40s, and that is physically, all right? Number one, you're strong as hell. You have never been stronger than in your early 40s, all right? Number two is your body looks great if and only if you didn't fuck it up and totally let it go to shit in your 30s. And that's something I gotta kind of back up with. All right, if you expect to peak in your 40s, you can't let yourself go in your 30s. It's a building thing. It's a growth thing. All right, if you just ate like shit and you got a dad bod when you're 27, it's over for you. You're gonna have all sorts of health issues, and I gotta be honest, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to get better as you age because things do get harder, but they don't become impossible. But if you have been consistent and diligent about doing the things that you need to do in your 20s and then in your 30s, by the time you get to 40, you're coasting. Your body is amazing, you're sexy, you're strong, and you're looking incredible. The fourth reason why men peak in their 40s is emotional intelligence. You're not freaking out over dumb shit anymore. You're also more resolute in who you are as a person. You're in control. You've dealt with a lot of the demons that you were struggling with in your 20s. By the time you're in your 40s, like, you are grounded, you are centered, and you feel amazing. You're still having to work on yourself and your relationships, but it's a lot easier when you're not putting up a wall or having to deal with bullshit. When you get to be in your 40s, you're done dealing with bullshit. You're not gonna tolerate nonsense. You don't blow up and get all irate and crazy over stupid shit because you realize all the stuff that you used to get upset about really doesn't matter anyway. Number five, your style and grooming is dialed in if you take care of it. So here's the thing. When you're in your 20s, your style is evolving and you don't have much money for clothes and your grooming is a little bit half-assed. 30s, starting to get better, but by the time you're 40, your style is more refined. Your grooming is dialed in. You have a great grooming routine. The other beautiful thing is that your beard is finally grown in, all right? When I was in my 20s, Patch Adams. Early 30s, patchy as hell. But by the time I hit 40, it's like my man hair started to come in. But this also brings me to something else you need to do, which is manage the hair on your body, all right? Don't neglect it. And that's one of the things. If you take care of yourself and you dress well and you're well groomed, it's one of the easiest things you can do to always look amazing for whatever age you are. But your 40s, this is when women find men the most desirable. Which brings me to the next reason why men peak in their 40s, and that is sexual market value, or SMV. Women, it's in their 20s. By the time a woman hits 30, I'm not saying she's like washed up, but her best, most productive, hottest years are typically behind her. When a woman hits 30, if she's not married or having kids or in a relationship, a lot of times she starts freaking out because her looks are starting to fade a little bit. Not saying that older women aren't like super smoking hot and all that good stuff, but they don't look the same as a 21-year-old, right? Starting to get some wrinkles. And then if she has been doing all the like the fillers and stuff, her face is starting to look all like jacked up, right? It's not a pretty sight. And then she hears it in her head, tick, tick, tick. Biology, that clock, it's ticking. And she knows I've got a limited window in which I'm gonna be popping out kids. A man, on the other hand, nah, Jack, 30 years old, he's just getting started. And then in 40, you're the total package, right? You're strong, you're virile, you're handsome, you're sexy, financially, you're stable, emotionally, you're in check. You're not that insecure, weird little dude that you were when you were 20 being like, oh, do you like me? And being all like weird. No, and when you're in your 40s, you're like, yo, mama, check it, whatever. Don't give me shit, don't nag me, don't snoop, or else I'm out. I'm warning you. Like seriously. If I had to pick an age, like if there was one age that I feel like men truly like the peak, the pinnacle, I would say it's probably 45, 46, or 47. In those years, those are so sweet, those years. Now, as I creep closer to 50, I've realized that your body, it is going to get a little bit harder to maintain a low body fat percentage. You got to work a little extra hard. Your testosterone, you also need to maintain that. And that's something else I just want to mention once again. You are going to age the way that you live. If you live a hard life, if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not eating right, if you're not working hard, if you're not, doing the things that you need to do, like getting 8 hours of sleep, drinking your water, eating healthy, not smoking too much, not drinking a bunch of alcohol, not cheating on your, like if you live a good life, clean life, healthy life in your 30s, once you get into your 40s, it's like all the work, all the investment that you have made in the earlier you starts to pay off. It starts to pay dividends. And the fact that I'm almost 50, I cannot believe it. If you would have told me 20 years ago that someday I'd be 50, I'd be like, no way, not this guy. I also would have been very scared of the thought of it. And so I guess that's really the reason why I wanted to do this video. Just to let you guys know that are not 40 yet, it gets better. But you've got to make sure you do the legwork in order to make sure that you take care of you. And for you guys in your 40s, I'm here to tell you, this is the time. Do not waste it. Do not squander it. And if you're over 40, let me know how it is. I'm assuming that if you do the work in your 40s, your 50s are going to be sweet.